What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is CJ the Cheese DJ here, and we're back with another Ark video. And today we'll be going through some tips and tricks for new players, just so they get used to Ark and don't freak out, and give them a little bit of a hand in starting off their journeys in the new dinosaur-infested lands that they see before them. Alrighty, so pretty much we're not really gonna take too much time with this. We're just gonna go through it very quickly. Now, my number one tip is don't be afraid to die. Especially when you first start out. When you first start out on Ark, you're going to die a lot. Everything will literally want to kill you. There won't be anything that won't. Even the harmless Diplodocus that nudges you with its little head will kill you, because it'll probably knock you off a cliff and you'll die from fall damage. So don't be afraid to die. Take your time leveling. Well, don't take your time leveling up. Level up as much as you can. Die, don't really waste too many resources on crafting all your items that you need at that particular moment, because chances are you'll die, struggle to find your body, get to your body, die by the same thing that killed you before, and it's just a never-ending cycle. So that's my first tip for the Ark. Now, number two, don't learn things that you don't need. Now, if you come into your engram list, and you can see there's a whole list of things. Now, obviously, as you level up, you'll learn more and more. But for this, you want to make sure that you learn your necessities. So, for example, when you first start, you want to learn your stone hatchet and your spear when you first level up. You can always come back to the cloth armor, because chances are you will die while wearing it, and there's not really much of a benefit for it. So, that's level 3. You only have a small amount of engram points right at the beginning when you start. So, you got to remember that as well, which is why you want to level up in the things you need, essentially. So, for example, you want to learn the hide sleeping bag, so you have a place to respawn at. A slingshot, so you can use to tame dinosaurs, which is really handy, obviously, because you just need stones for ammo. Your mortar and pestle, your narcotics, you can come back to later. All this armor or the water skin, you can come back to later, because you need the essential items, a simple bed. So make sure you think about that before you actually go in and spend all your engram points on stuff that you don't need. Your bow, your stone arrow, your bowlers. So, you can eventually fight your way through and get more levels by crafting the stuff you essentially need. Now, my third tip is only build a small shelter to begin with. So when you first start out in Ark, you obviously unlock the thatch tier first, then the wood, then the stone, then the metal, and then the tech, obviously. Now with that, you're obviously going to want to build a small shelter to house some items that you have collected on your journey. Only start with something small like a 1x1 thatch, wood, nothing too big, even a 1x1 stone. Because chances are if you're playing on a PvP server, you'll get raided. The chances are very high in that. So make sure you only build small, and as well as that, it also keeps you hidden. If you build it in a high dense jungle, like say this place right here, chances are of people finding your base are very low and slim. So make sure you stick with the small stuff when you first begin. Once you hit stone tier, you can start obviously building a bigger base, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would wait till metal, start with a 2x2 or 1x1 shack where you can fit your refining forge, a bit of a smithy. Eventually, obviously, you're going to have to expand a little bit, but I wouldn't go crazy and build a giant base out of wood, because you just get it destroyed. Everything can destroy wood, as well as thatch. Stone, you have a bit of a chance against, because most dinos can't actually destroy stone. But then again, you still have other PvP players who have explosives to take out your stone structures. Now, my fourth tip is to stockpile your building materials. So when you start, obviously you're going to have to create all your walls, all your foundations. Well, don't go nuts building thatch and wooden foundations. Wait till you get to your stone tier and stockpile them, because once you're going to obviously want to move from that location that you've set your 1x1 or 2x2 in. And once you find that location, you're obviously going to need plenty of building materials to build your base. So make sure you stockpile them before you go to your new base location and decide to build bit by bit, because chances are people will break in and take all your stuff again, which, you've got to take into consideration when playing on a PvP server. PvE servers is not so bad, because obviously people can't destroy your structures, but you still want to make sure you have plenty of building materials to actually go and place them on the site that you want to build at, so other people can't take your site and potentially stop you from building there. Now, my fifth and final tip for Ark Survival Evolved is start with low-level tames. They're much easier, much quicker to tame up, and then once you get them and get, the necessary materials, for example, tame a low-level trike, a level 5 trike, for example, easily won't take you 2 hours to tame. It'll take you probably half an hour maximum. You won't need many narco berries to keep him out, and you won't need many regular berries to tame him. And he's really useful. Once you get him up, you'll have his saddle. I think it's about 25 to get his saddle. If not, you can set him to enable wandering, and he'll still gather berries for you. Once you gather a particular amount of narco berries and create a large amount of narcotics, you can obviously then tame up higher level dinos. For example, if you're going to start off with this slingshot, you can use that to take out the trike, and then once you level up a bit more, get your bow, use that trike that you've tamed up to gain narco berries, which in turn make narcotics, and then you can go out and tame the higher level stuff. Try and start with the low level stuff when you first start the game. Obviously, once you hit the higher levels, it'll be easier and you've got more resources, but when you're first starting out, make sure you go for the low level tames. Alrighty guys, that'll be it for today. Let me know what you thought of these down below. I would appreciate it very much, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.